Alright, good morning and welcome to some Minecraft Musings. I'm your host A-Rye, and we're doing... no, I don't know. We're still in the Two Taboos playlist, and I don't know, that might change. I keep waffling back and forth because it's uncomfortable. It's a prickly subject, especially with already having one strike on my channel for possible misinformation. Uh, yeah, I gotta be careful. But I mean, and today, so today is one of the first days of my vacation. I'm off all week, and this is awesome. I'm gonna be posting a lot of videos for the first couple of days, and then I'm gonna be hanging out with my kiddos for the rest of the week. So I'll be MIA for a bit, and that's awesome. And I do keep a lot of that private because there are some sickos out there that we're hunting, we'll catch them, but really, we'll prevent them from becoming that way in the first place. And so, oh, and that you want to talk about a prickly conversation. Legalized adult sex work. That's a prickly conversation. However, to deny the education of human biology and psychology is to sell oneself short and to deny part of the tools and information required to make informative decisions on a subject. So, and all of that's a roundabout way of saying I woke up today and I made a very bold claim that wasn't actually all that true. I mean, as we're talking about strikes, I basically said, cybersecurity in a nutshell is making sure MFA is set up or something to the tune of that, which, yes, for the basic end user education, that is. Like, there needs to be a standard education. And I even doubled down on it because he's like, this guy responded, he's like, no, you're missing this, and this, and a lot of cybersecurity terms and concepts, which is true. But I also, in my explanation, explained that there's still 1% to 10% of malicious activity requires. Oh, who's calling me? I don't care. I'm on vacation. Although, thank you for waiting until, yeah, it's like 9:30 today, so up in Mountain Standard Time, which is actually UTC plus 7 or plus 6, depending on daylight savings time. And that's one thing my cyber professor was talking about is he preferred UTC times, like global times. Like that way, it's not dependent on more information or more context. So, and that makes total sense. Like just from an IT standpoint, having to help end users and customers and people from around the world, you do kind of need to know. Oh wait, what are we doing here? We're doing some farming, but let's go ahead and. Yeah, let's just go ahead and drop all this stuff. Oh, and I have some cobblestone too. So I'm making a mob grinder. Sorry, I started actually, you can kind of see it through there. I'm trying a couple different ways of creating it. Like this way, I started making the frame a while ago, like a couple weeks ago. I did not have the downs chute, or that tube right there, like that. I just had the side, and then I built it there, and I don't know why, because I always build it from the middle up, like that. And also, I thought for a split second there that I had actually like misaligned them, because what I did is I dropped gravel from the 4 locations in the very center of that, so they would fall directly down. I mean, in this game, that's just how gravel behaves. In the real world, with other physics and factors at play, and besides, you can't just drop a cube of gravel not easily without some extra doing. So, mm. I mean, gravity and the way that gravel works anyway, it would be more of a pile, a circular pile where the gravity pulls on it. So, anyway, so I dropped some gravel blocks to kind of mark where it was. And then I went and I built up from that. You can actually even see the column of gravel. I dropped it until I could see it break the surface of the water. So, and then I built the center. And even that, I think I'm going to try to build below. I want to see if I'm able to do that. And that's actually part of where I was finishing constructing it because I had to stand on something and fill in where I was standing and then fall off. And it's also pretty dangerous because, like, yeah, there's a lot of water, like most sides, but then there's that side where it's just like trees and grass and death. Also, what's that fool doing? Just wandering around, pathing wherever he wants. Anyways, yeah, cybersecurity in a nutshell, that is like the majority of it. And I was totally leaving out, what was it, seams, intrusion detection and protrusion prevention, encryption, a lot of things, and I admit that yes, I was but that was that 1% to 10%. Like, I mean, you don't need to break out the big guns if everybody has passwords in MFA. I mean, you still do, but like for the average end user, like, what do I need to do for my personal life to be a responsible adult in this modern world? And that's multi-factor on everything and long passwords. So, but even long passwords are a moot point if you have like an authenticator app that's not reliant on any communication going across. And sorry, we just kind of like jumped a lot of concepts there. So text message multi-factor authentication isn't completely secure. We're having problems with that where it can be intercepted and then replayed, or I forget what else I was reading about it. I think it can also be used to predict how numbers are generated. So it's almost like if you have enough data points, but I don't know. To me, I feel like that's almost like trying to predict the lottery by gathering a bunch of numbers, which, don't get me wrong, I think I might try to do, just to kind of see if there are patterns. And I know there are people out there, like math majors, like people that go way more in depth on how numbers work together than I ever did. I stopped with calculus. Like, I mean, I got like a C in Calc 1 and Calc 2. Just didn't even. So, but there are relationships and patterns in numbers that are worth paying attention to, and that could be revealing of one way or another. It's actually... So, I can't even garden effectively. I've got so much stuff clogging up my inventory. Glitching. So, anyways, no, I woke up today wanting to do some Bloodborne and some... Yeah, let's go toss a bunch of this stuff in there. I almost need to extend that. Yeah, let's go ahead and throw the pumpkins in there too. There's the 3 left over there. Why not? All the produce. Oh, wait. Need one of those. Even though with potatoes I really don't. I mean, because if, well, yeah, I've got all these. I forgot about these. And then, yeah. Well, and anyways, eventually I'm going to have this Minecraft world set up in a way that I can just send them a link to a YouTube video that takes maybe a minute, and then can have a broad generalization of every science that I can think of every education over there in that temple. That unfinished temple, which is cool. I can see those stubs. And again, I was kind of guessing and measuring and seeing, like, you know, how far apart. But this isn't like building the pyramids. If I mess up, I just have to spend a couple minutes to break it and, you know, make it right. Same with the mob grinder. Like, if that didn't line up to the fireplaces that I was building, oh, I also got to go back and add 1 block down there. But anyways, then all I'd have to do is just fix it. It's very simple, like, quickly done. So... something about this, like I used to have a garden growing up too, and I intend on making a garden soon. It's just I'm renting right now, and I'm trying to get into ownership, whether that be an apartment, condo, or trailer, or house. And honestly, trailer would be fine if I could prove that the insulation is good, because I've had a trailer before for just a year, but I lived in it during my gap year before college education. Um, And really, everybody should have a gap year before getting into working as an adult or education, because that's why college seems so unfair to the people that don't go to college. Because, well, for one, it's a big gamble. Like, it is a gamble. Like, if you don't get a good degree. See, I studied a good degree, and I actually went in for electrical engineering first. That was my goal. Because I was like, oh, yeah, that's definitely, like, engineer, you know, just an engineer is guaranteed, almost guaranteed, that you can have a good job. But I don't know. And then I feel like the market's getting saturated with skilled people. So then you need to work on other soft skills. So it's not enough to just have the engineering. You need to be more well-rounded with, you know, current goings-ons and stuff, and how to make educated guesses and decisions based on factors in, like, the economy, society, within your own company. Like, there's so much stuff. In fact, let's continue to build this mob grinder. We'll talk about, we'll actually, like, document the stuff here in a little bit. But I've got a bunch of pillars of lights with books, and I'm going to continue to build up with each one. But for now, let's see. Let's go ahead and build the sky high. Actually, wait, we're not going to need the... Well, we might need some ladder, because I think I did... We don't need glass, that's for sure, but that's okay. And then I also had to rebuild this, so in fact we can go ahead and fix this. Put that there. But then... That's pointless to have now. And see? It's a quick fix. Now, if I was building this in real life, and I've done that too, like my foreman, when I was on a framing crew, he read the blueprints backwards, and we ended up building a room backwards. like, and he looked at it later, he's like, ah, crud, man, we gotta tear that down, and it was okay. I mean, it was a simple fix, but like, because luckily he caught it. But I mean, at the same time, like, mistakes are bound to happen. So I mean, these things are all factored into a good manager training or a good foreman training, which he was too. I mean, like he still did really good with everything else, and like that's one thing you're taught as like a leader, manager, or a lot of that type of training. I had a management class. Doesn't mean I'm like the expert. I'm not an expert on any of this stuff. Novice. I like. I feel like I explain that a lot, but people could come in at any given point. What was it? There's a quote from Stan Lee saying that. Um, every comic is someone's first comic, which I don't know. It's kind of like you could argue not every comic, but like any comic could potentially be someone's first comic, but that's not as insightful to say. So I mean, so I get it why like the original one stands, and same with my oversimplification of cybersecurity. Well, yes, it completely bastardized the science, but or what does that mean? Like he's out of line, but he's got a point, and like basically. Um, Because yeah, like why would you say it that way? Why would you phrase it that way? But at the same time, just understanding that if this was met, and I even accounted for the up to 10% of everything else, and that figure is subject to change. Like that could it's maddening the level that you have to do to stay current on that. And I do. I follow the FBI on the LinkedIn's. Like um, I don't do it as much now. Like when I was like trying to get a job, I was paying attention to all the cybersecurity journals and. It's almost bad. I'm like worse than a lawyer because even from Better Call Saul, which again isn't like an authority on it, but I feel like it's close enough. I mean, lawyers have to stay current on things if you want to be a successful lawyer. If you don't, then yeah, and I can kind of understand why that would be. Like if you didn't understand or if you weren't aware of a recent change in a sub-law, bylaw, or any other thing that could affect whether or not oh, this is a awesome view. Look at that. You can see Wizard Island, which is starting to build some just like artificial stuff floating in the middle of like a caldera looking thing. And maybe I should do that. Maybe I should strip away the sides of that so that it is like an actual mountain caldera, but whatever. It's a jungle lake up in the mountains. And then there's that. Starting a massive addition to it so it's visible from space. And that's kind of what I assume like, you can kind of consider this bird's eye view map that we have there what a satellite could see. And satellites are in space. So as I say that, look at that giant white formation way out to the west. Like, I think that's like a snow biome, like a little bit of one. And you can even see my massive netherwort farming thing. Also, I just completely got disoriented. I think I was this way. Yeah, because then eventually the ladder's that way. I could fall into the water. That's threading the needle like a dropper game. We could try to do that too, but I need to be aware that there is a grass block directly south of this. Or directly below me, not south. Below. Set toward the center. And then if I try to jump on the ladder, I need to make sure not to hit the top of the ladder so I can't slide along. Think of like the idea of getting a splinter. You can't do that, otherwise that's death, because technically I'll land on the ladder. And just yesterday when I was playing with my son some Minecraft, I actually died dropping on one unit deep water. But I didn't realize that I was... Oh, is this build height? Yes. Okay. So I didn't realize I was also taking a bucket of water, doing like the reverse MLG of a drop, like how people can save themselves, doing a fall and then throwing water. I was doing it taking water, and so I actually took that 1 unit of water and I landed on the dirt that was underneath. So, mystery solved. Anyway, and away! So really I just need to stay close enough, but not too close. Ah! Whew, I didn't trust myself with that either. That's like that physics lesson of a pendulum. Like, it won't swing farther than you let it if you drop it. Now if you push it and you exert extra force, then yeah, it could swing back and hit you in the face. But you're adding additional force to it to counteract the gravity. Now as it is, the initial force from resting to falling, is isolating the force being acted on it as really only gravity. It's not gravity and a push. Whoops. Okay, so now we can squat to hold. Also, yeah, my son changed it to a zombie. It was a zombie piglin, so. Alright. And we might try to make. We did start making a zombie piglin farm. I got a ton of magma blocks. Basically, the idea behind that is a zombie piglin can spawn on magma blocks, but no other mob in the nether can, I think. At least not the regular piglin. And so, like, when you turn it out of peaceful, you start having things fighting. Oh man, we need a lot more ladders. We need like another stack or two. Look at that. Oh, and we're up here in the stars. Oh, and that lapis is gonna look good. I need to put the emerald too. Like emerald on that layer. Maybe just make it all blue. And then I do have like a little emerald pyramid starting over there. And then that's actually quartz, I want to say. Quartz block. I don't know why I was doing that. I was trying to make it all fancy. Because that's where all the knowledge is outside currently on religion, politics, stuff like that. Wait, let's do the dropper. This is just fun. Ah! You can also always fall back to the ladder. I used to do that for a while, but... Ooh, oh! Did I slightly fall to the side? Okay. Oh, man. That's okay. WTF. Well, that's fine. First thing, gather up all the tools. This is kind of a drill, but kind of, yeah, I did totally accidentally die on my map. Nice. Torches. Emeralds. I mean, this stuff gets thrown far. Okay, and since I landed on the side of that... Oh, no. Some of it might land into the... into the fire, but it won't die in the fire. It'll get sucked down below, I believe. Yeah, because the... Oh, that's why. There's a ladder still there. Okay. Whew. Again, you can't prepare for everything. You can try. But that doesn't mean... And bada bing. So I did lose all my experience, so that's kind of annoying, but... Yeah, but watch this. So like if you put... Let's just put a bunch of torches here. And even if you put torches here... And then here, we will get close to 58 back in our turn. Because all of this stuff, whoops, if it makes it into the water, will fall down and be sucked into that because of the persistence of the item. Okay. Close enough. Like, I feel like I got mostly everything. I got my tools, that's the important part, but did you see, or well, not did you see. That is what killed me. You cannot land on any of that. So even though, in fact, I'll even prove it now. Oh man. Oh, and I see some more blocks that I need to do. I need to go get to the right there. They scattered. Maybe climb up on top of that thing. And this is science. It's sloppy science. It's not recorded, documented, or anything. Like, I'm not writing down, like, this is my hypothesis, that I can fall from any height, doesn't matter, as long as I don't waver left or right farther than the block. Like, I could still... See? Right next to the thing, because I didn't waver. Alright. But there was a ladder there, so that actually made that a partial block, so when falling, the physics of that are, it's basically hitting the ground. So, Now, if you approach it from the side, you're grabbing the ladder, which in real life would rip your arms out of your sockets, and you would go falling down. Now let's go check the chest to see what we got after that macabre image. And 57, what do you know? So, alright, yeah, I just lost a bunch of experience, which that is painful. I had, what, like 40 levels? That's okay, because I have... Eventually, I'm going to make a Netherman, or an Enderman, sorry, a Netherman, an Enderman experience grinder. But to do that, I got to get to the end, and to get to the end, I need to find blaze rods, and to find blaze rods, I need to explore more of the nether, and maybe that's what I should do today. Because I don't really do any violence or anything in these games. It's just all building and thinking and talking, which is good. I enjoy it. Oh. Oh, that looked like a floating thing, but it was just a button. But I got all day, I got, all couple of days. I'm on vacation. I want to get a few side projects worked on too. Like, I'm wanting to build a Linux server. I've got a red key USB and an old tower that I've already wiped once. I guess one of the pinch points, or one of the pieces of friction, is Windows 10 is going out soon. And I have a Windows 10 installer next October. So we have a year from this October. So not next October, but 2 Octobers from now. October 2025. Windows 10 is being phased out. So, which is fine. I mean, most people I talk to are already getting used to Windows 11. The problem is this tower, I don't think, is compatible with Windows 11. It needs to have a modern TPM, which is a chip for encryption, for localized encryption. It's a security tool, and computers built past a certain date just didn't come with them by default. Just like seatbelts. Like, cars didn't originally come with seatbelts, and then eventually, all the car makers agreed, and the general humanity agreed that, hey, seatbelts are kind of a thing. We need to have them in cars. I mean, they prevent a lot of traffic deaths, and I would need to know the statistics, because every country I've gone to, every last country, the driving seems a little more chaotic than here in the U.S. Now, that's not saying the U.S. does not have chaotic driving. I used to deliver pizzas during the nighttime hours when everybody was drunk and ordering pizza, and then there was a lot of people choosing to drink and drive, and so I saw some really messy and sketchy driving and messed up driving. There you go. Messy, make it sound like, oh, bother. Oh, Winnie the Pooh. Oh, how British and how formal. They're like, oh, no. It's like, WTF and this and that, America. And I'm just kidding. Yes, the Yankees are a bit eccentric. Uh, uh, and so, anyways, circling back to that thing, the first thing I see when I wake up, and I think this guy was from England or something, because he posted this at like 6 or 6:30 in the morning on a Monday morning, so I'm guessing retired and in England. But he was right. I did leave out a lot of cybersecurity, and I made a very shocking overstatement, and in a group where people are just, everybody in the world wants to become knowledgeable about something. They want to become successful. It's the human nature to pursue happiness. And once you start understanding that, and everybody says they know it, but like, to actually deeply understand that on a deep enough level to understand that that person is almost identical to me. Yeah, they might look a little different, but they're not some like bear or a goldfish or a jaguar or a black panther. Like, I'm just kidding, because black people used to be considered more livestock, and that's ridiculous. And black people, I think we should just say shades of dark skin. Like, very dark skin, moderately dark skin, that's all you need. Like, that would encompass a whole category. And that'd be even easier for law enforcement and corrections, would just be, if you have really dark skin, you're of this ethnicity, and that's it. You're not, like, saying, oh, well, they're from, and even just saying African American, like, or African descent. Africa is huge. It's like, it is its entire continent. It's like saying America. Well, an American really should, in my opinion, mean that, like, oh, you're American? Which one? North, Central, or South? Like, all Americans should be lumped together and be like, oh, yeah, no, we're all American. Like, that would be a perfect world for me, I feel like. That would just be peace. At least a good step towards it. Oh, another development. So I'm still kind of active on the X app, formerly known as Twitter and all that jazz. And I don't know. I'm not as offended with Elon Musk as some people. I'm still offended. I still think we should tax him to all get out. But as far as like, he's got some redeeming qualities. You know, pushing electric cars, the brain chips that could possibly fix Alzheimer's and all degenerative brain diseases and situations. And because it's not just disease or viruses, or like, it could actually be like, um, and again, I'm not a medical professional. I'm a very novice, light introduction to preventative or first line healthcare. I was on the first aid, first response team. That doesn't mean squat when talking about, and I scoff at that because we had a president that would, suggested to inject cleaning supplies. And again, we shouldn't even talk about that. It's dumb, is what I'm saying. Careful, don't do anything unless it's recommended by a doctor. And even then, 4 out of 5 dentists. You can't even get that one dentist to recommend the one toothpaste. Like, so, and there could be other factors too. It couldn't just be based, it could be based solely on their professional opinion as a medical professional or a dental professional. However, it could also be, hey, they're getting paid by this company to advertise this. And as long as they don't have any moral or ethical dilemma with that, or how bad is it? Like, okay, it might not be the best on the market, but they're paying me. Like, what was it? One famous rapper, Cutie Pablo, I think, and like Freak a Leak, yeah. He's like, drink this Seagram's gin because I'm drinking it and they're paying me for it. And then like, like being very blunt with the advertising, and in a way was advertising for a while there. Like the Cavassier, like Pass the Cavassier is a song, get that Alizé. All these things I never heard of, but yeah, our redneck selves up in the mountains. Like at one point, I remember this guy that, well, I worked with his wife at like a truck stop. It was very ghetto, and we were both living in trailers, different trailer parks, and like, and he was off. I don't even remember, but it was no, no, he came and worked with us too. Ah, no, and he worked with me. Wait, no, 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 he worked with me. I want to say over at the restaurant. I can't remember. He was a good dude, but like I remember going to his house once for a party, and like he had some Alizé and some Cavassier, and like, which are two different things too. Like the Alizé, if I remember right, is in like this like colorful bottle and all that. I don't know. I'm anti all alcohol now because I just don't like it for me. That's fine if you want to do it. I'm not going to shame you. Just saying for me, like the time to recover and it's not worth it to me. Like I mean, yeah, it's fun, but it's so painful and so annoying. It's so damaging too, especially if you're not in a good state of mind. Of course, that's true everywhere. That's how you have a bad trip. If you're not in a good state of mind, then, and even bad trips are reversible. So like as long as you can communicate to somebody that, and yes, I'm talking about hallucinogens that are illegal in most places except Colorado. Hmm. Not that I've even partaken since the legalization. Might not ever again in my life, but I've done it before, so I know. I do have some experience. Whoops. Back when it wasn't so legal. And don't worry, law enforcement knows all about it. Oh, I feel so bad for some of them. Like, not that I was like anything like too outrageous, but like I still had to be processed and handled, and I don't know. Some people are scratching their heads like, "Oh my God, what's he talking about? Like, what is this? Like, did he kill somebody? Did he run around it? Oh, okay, that's the alarm. But real quick, a meme before we go, because we are still gonna have a lot of fun today, playing some Bloodborne, maybe some Elden Ring. I want to make a caster now. I've got one character that I'm playing with a buddy, getting ready for the DLC. No, no, not really getting ready for the DLC. And I just started another character as a caster, but I didn't record any of it. And so I'm like, oh man, this is so fun. I should have recorded it and put it on my channel. So now I'm going to make a new run. I didn't get too far, by the way. I only did like most of Limgrave. Didn't even beat the first area boss. I almost went down to the castle that's all sad and depressing down south. But anyways, we'll do all of that. Or not. But anyways, this meme. Sorry, talking about outrageous things. Um, There's that music. Finish up, hurry up, get done. Um, There's this guy talking about this news thing. It was like, how did you enjoy your visit to Florida or something, or like a newspaper like piece? And he's like, I went to NASA, and the scientists weren't very supportive. There was a lot of, hey, how'd you get in here? Why are you naked? And I can't catch him. Oh God, he's covered in grease. Like, and the story just slowly deteriorated into something really outrageous. And yeah, so that's what like, I feel like if some of my movies are doing that, then I'm doing all right. Some of these TV shows, episodes, whatever you want to call them. Original content. Because you can't fake this, nor why would anyone want to. Alright, ta-ta for now. I'll see you in the next one.